how did I start photography? Photography happened to me instead. My dad is a hobbyist, has forever been a hobbyist. So whenever he has a new film or something to try, it is me he called since when I was growing up. So I grew up with a lot of pictures of myself. Then after high school, I decided to become a model because that's what you do. You either do comps driving or become a model. so, and so I spent the next, I think, 4 to 7 years in front of cameras. And now it became very fascinating. You take this picture, how do you make it work? And so by the time my babies were born, I started taking pictures with my phone. And my mother-in-law saw, hey, she's doing a good job. So she gave me my first camera. And that's how it started. Ooh, it's a bit embarrassing. I did very many free jobs. My first paying job was a maternity shoot that paid me 5,000 baht. Yeah. Highest paid job. Um, Safaricom calendar. We went around the country for 1 week, coming up with images, and we were paid 1 million shillings. Um, so my former editor put in my name because I think that's how the selection process was. People were to nominate people's names and blogs, then that team would now ask you to submit pictures. So I never really nominated myself. I was nominated, then they called me to get my pictures. They went through it, and one day in August, I was called and I was told I have been chosen, and I hung up the phone. I have so many, but the one that I submitted for the Mohammed Mo Ibrahim Foundation, The Boy and His Fish, and then there was the Old Man of Kerio Valley that made into the calendar, and there was one that we took in on Lake Turkana of not in Lake Turkana, Mount Elgon of a little girl sitting on a hill, and the sun was behind her, and there was a waterfall. Perfect pictures. Yes. Ibera. But yes, of the siblings, I'm the one who plays with cameras the most. Yeah, so I think it was passed on. He I've been a very creative person since I was a child. So he's been very supportive of my creative processes. But when I picked up the camera, I knew I made him proud because finally somebody, has gone now ahead and made a life with something he used to think was a hobby. Yeah, so him is very proud. Um, my mom passed away 6 years ago. She passed away because she had bone cancer and it just did a number on her. So when we did my first joint exhibition was with a workshop called I See Africa. So they asked us to go capture images of what you want your Africa to be known as. And for me, it has always been about mothers and daughters because Mother Africa, we live. She's our source of sustenance. She guides us. She's in every one of us. So, and that is who my mother is as well. So I thought I should just. My vision of Africa was that she's a mother, past, present, and future. She will always be with us. She will be watching over us, and yeah, she's there for us. Yeah. The photo I took, I had a picture of I still have it, of my mom when she was, I think, 28 or 30. It's framed, and because she was wearing a turtleneck and a bow necklace, and she had a big afro. So that picture that I took, I put myself in a corner, and I sat with my mother's picture in my arms, and just like looking inside and within. And it was amazing because that's what the picture that they picked as being one of their favorite pictures. Yeah. So I just took a photo of myself with my mother's picture. Yes. The Mo Ibrahim Foundation ran a contest. I think it was a 2 month contest because they are celebrating their 10-year anniversary this October. And they were inviting photographers to submit pictures depicting what their Africa looks like. And I had never known about it. I got an inbox from a friend of mine in Cameroon telling me, oh, this is what you need to do. And of course, I did not do what he said I should do. And 2 weeks later, the deadline passed. He called me again and coerced me to submit. And I submitted my picture, and here we are. No, because first, instead of submitting my pictures in the amateur category, I decided to get into the professional one. And knowing that we are 54 countries in Africa and people in the diaspora who are going to be submitting pictures, there is no way that mine would be chosen. So I submitted because my friend said submit, and I forgot about it. Shock on my life when it's my picture that was picked. So never would I have thought. Wow. It's those things that you don't think can happen twice in a lifetime. And my mother-in-law was over the moon. She couldn't believe it. My husband, I think my husband talks with God because he was not surprised at all. Maybe he has a leakage. He goes like, it was going to happen. My children don't know what to think because they are 7. So she's like, oh, that's nice. Mama, can I have tea? Yeah, so it doesn't really matter to them. But um, to the people around me, guys are just over the moon. Yeah. Maybe, maybe because in an industry like ours, you have to do your time. So here's someone who's been doing photography professionally for 3 years. That is an amateur. I mean, like, I'm just 3 years old. So I'm learning how to walk. And the guys who've been doing it for, like, 7 to 10 years. So, yeah. But apparently, people now don't think I'm an amateur, they actually think I'm a professional. Uh, oh, to just buy clothes. No, not really. My plans, I just need to do more personal projects now. I have so many that I really want to do. I recently did one on albinism. I want to do one on Velitigo and showcase that beauty. I think for me, my life plan is to showcase beauty in sectors of humanity that people have given up on. Yeah. So it gives me more. Oh, to just buy clothes. No, not really. My plans, I just need to do more personal projects now. I have so many that I really want to do. I recently did one on albinism. I want to do one on Velitigo and showcase that beauty. I think for me, my life plan is to showcase beauty in sectors of humanity that people have given up on. Yeah. So it gives me more. Um, we all know how people living with albinism are treated in our continent. People think they're cursed, they are good luck charms, and generally people don't think that they look nice. So for me, I decided to showcase their unique beauty. So I photographed them in glamour editorial style, and I was very surprised with the feedback that I got from the pictures themselves. Yeah. No, people living with albinism are a very close knit, closed off society. And the sad thing is, they have been taken advantage of by so many creatives. So they are very wary, very defensive, and you need to convince them that no, you're not going to sell the images, no, you're not nini, and if that happens, you are going to share money with them. So I think it took 2 months to convince them to actually have a shoot with me. Yes, because what people said that when they looked at these pictures, they forgot that there's some people living with albinism. They saw their beauty instead. And for me, I think my work was done. For them, they never thought that they could be photographed that way. So when I showed them their pictures and I gave them because I gave them mounts. When I gave them the mounts, they were so overwhelmed. Like they couldn't believe that this is them and this is how they look like. And that they want now to do more and to be seen more. I am an accomplished photographer. Um, time and time practice. You just need to shoot until you're tired and then shoot some more because that's how we learn. In photography, learning never stops because there are new techniques, styles, there are new things that are coming up every day. People are finding out different things to do with cameras every day. So if you say nimefika, you will be obsolete very soon. Plus, cameras are becoming cheaper. That means everybody and their grandmother is a photographer. So for you to be on top of your game, you have to be creative, you have to be out of the box, you have to push yourself to stay on top. Yes. Photography and film for the longest time has been a male playground. And because we women come with so much responsibilities. So you have to now choose which you will focus on. Also, the fact that men can go places we can't. So, again, they have more chances of doing things. But that said, right now the playground is getting level. We find more and more women coming in, more and more women pushing boundaries and pushing envelopes, and now it's easier. Before, but for me, then again, being a photojournalist, we are very few female photojournalists right now. So, say I want to go cover something that maybe the president is opening. You have presidential press, you have who, and then they're all men, they're all older than you, and they're bigger than you. So, fighting for that space, I ain't got the time. So, those are some of the challenges. And also, men tend to give you advice, unsolicited advice, because you don't know what you are doing. so, so now I find ourselves we have to do twice as much so that we can be on the same level. Mm. Whenever you see photography competitions, contests, apply. It doesn't matter whether it's a student prize, whether it's an amateur prize, whether it's just for your work to be out there. Imagine, just do it. And don't stop learning, don't stop shooting, because how else do we grow?